Hi everybody, we are sitting here today to have a bit of a talk to you about your 30 and 60 second spiel. So yes, it's me, Ashley, and Wolfgang will be assisting us today.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Yes, exactly. So today we just wanted to, go into a little bit of detail on why this is a really important skill as well to develop. So that you're motivated to give it a bit of a go and start using it as a skill for body fusion. The first thing is that it's a really important tool that's going to actually help communicate or sell what you do in both a professional and a private setting. So either in the clinic or even if you're just out at a dinner party and you meet someone. And if you can really communicate yourself effectively, that's going to result in people being interested in you as a person. They're going to have an understanding of how dietitians can actually work and help others. And the other thing too is most likely you're going to get more referrals into clinic, which is always good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the end goal too. We want to help you guys build up your clinics and get some really great clients coming through, which is good. The other thing too is it kind of positions you in the mind of the person that you're interacting with, so that they remember you and they can understand as well what exactly you do, how you do that, why you do that as well. And it gives them a bit of an idea of, your ability to influence, educate and motivate your clients for successful outcomes. So there's a bit of selling there, but really Wolfgang likes to use the word communicate. It's more a communication. Also throughout your little spiel, we really encourage that you try and incorporate your philosophy and also your passions, because if you're talking with passion and you're talking about it, it's going to really engage the person you're talking to. And I guess that's where we wanted to talk about the analogy of fishing. So more or less, this little 30-second spiel, particularly that we start talking about, and then the 60, is to hook people in. So it's really to get them interested in what you're doing and also try and paint the picture attractively so that people feel like they don't want to miss out on the service that you can offer, and they can really see how they might benefit from the advice that you can give or the services you could give. So think about it as a bit like fishing when you're going in and you're just trying to connect with those people that you're talking to.
So now I'd like to give you a few do's and don'ts, and these are suggestions, of course. One thing you should use is positive words and emotive words, but keep it less clinical, keep it more conversational. Remember who you're talking to. One of the things that we think about sometimes is that you might go to a school reunion. Say you're meeting somebody that you haven't seen for 20 or 30 years. It's that sort of conversation that you're having. You're not doing a deep dive clinical conversation where you're going and what you've been doing, etc., etc. So keep it conversational, make it easy, and be lighthearted about it. Don't be too serious about it. Be passionate, but don't be too serious. The other thing is around the don'ts. Don't ambush them with too much information. Don't just verbally diarrhea everything. Right? Just hold it in a little bit. Be a little bit controlled.
Mentioning of your, and in regards to that, just how you kind of mention your, don't go in and an example would be, oh, hi, I'm actually from Body Fusion. I've got an exercise sports science degree. I've got this degree. And they're kind of sitting there. Like,
you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that in this environment, because this is more the conversational environment, not the clinical environment. Okay? So don't not give them your full attention. Give them your full attention, be engaged. Body language is really important here. If they're interested in what you have to say, they will open up and they will actually ask you more questions. So don't verbally diarrhea everything. Just be nice and conversational, short, sweet, and to the point. Okay?
And I think in a professional manner as well, and often when you speak well and you're being really articulate, then people want to listen to you and it comes across really succinctly and clearly rather than in a messy manner. So take some time to formulate your thoughts and use some careful words to deliver it, but in a emotive way, as we've talked about.
So now we're going to give you some hints about what to talk about. So that'll help you start to frame your conversation, etc. So who you are, who you work for, and what your job role is. Just keep it really simple. Now, Ash is going to give an example in this area, okay?
Yeah, so for example, if I met someone at a dinner party, I might say, hi, I'm Ashley from Body Fusion. I'm actually a dietitian and a sports dietitian and the business owner. Body Fusion's pretty much it's a private practice. We specialise in nutrition. We do some one-to-one consulting, but we also really love presenting and some workshops or workshopping with our clients. So again, it's not huge. That probably took me 10 seconds to say.
Yeah, very succinct and to the point. That's all you need to be.
Yeah.
And also talk a little bit about your philosophy, okay? And give examples. If you can give examples, that's always a good thing. But a quick pointed example. Storytelling is a powerful tool. You'll probably read that and see that on many YouTube videos, etc. So storytelling, just a short story, not a long story, a short story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, one of the biggest things in relation to my philosophies, and this is genuine as well, it's not made up, it's coming from a good space, is, I'm really passionate about using nutrition to positively influence people's lives and their experience of life, their quality of life. And then from there, you can go on to use a relevant example. And sometimes it might be that's where you sneakily, I guess, add in a specialty that's your specialty, or the person you're communicating to works with. So if you're talking to a gastroenterologist, you might want to use an IBS example. So I had my example as, one of my specialty areas is food intolerance. I had a recent client that actually was in so much pain that her husband found her on the floor and she had to go to the hospital. She's really struggling and it was really affecting her quality of life. We've actually been working together now. She's identified her trigger foods and all her pain has almost been put at bay. And her ability even to go to work and enjoy her day-to-day has greatly been enhanced. It's been a really beautiful journey, her and I working together, and we've had a lot of success there. So that's why I love my job so much, and you can kind of embellish it a little bit there as well.
Yeah. And what have you done so far in the conversation, which is why we're having the conversation, is you've established credibility about who you are, what you've done, but you've also given an example. You provided a success story. People like to hear success stories, right?
Yes.
And I'm not saying there's no negatives in life, but give them success stories that they can put a hook into or they can personalise for themselves.
And make them quite extreme. Having pain and having to go to the hospital, that's quite extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like my client didn't eat dairy products anymore and she felt good. It's quite, it was really impacting their quality of life. So think of something that's been a big difference. And sometimes when we have our success stories at our business review meeting,
yes, exactly.
There's some great ones come out. When I hear those stories, I feel really motivated and inspired. So just think of sharing those kind of stories as well with the people you're talking to, and it just helps to develop more rapport and you're proving your success. It's not a made up story. It's
real.
Happen.
It's live.
Yeah,
it's happened to you, and you can actually give more information if you need to with confidentiality around the actual client, etc. So that's basically all that needs to be done.
Simple.
Apart from wrapping up. And so how do we wrap up this conversation? It's obviously, or if you're in an environment where you're meeting a lot of people, say at a reunion, you're going from one person to the next person to the next person, you always say, nice to meet you, it's been great to connect. And look, if you ever need any help with IBS or anything in the health-related field or food healthy choices field, give me a call. I'm always happy to take a call any time of day or night.
I extend that to your family and your friends or your colleagues.
Absolutely.
So you're kind of being inclusive and you're being considerate.
Yeah. And it may be, if it's applicable, please give them a business card. You wouldn't be giving it at a family dinner. You would not be giving somebody a business card. But you might be at the soccer or the netball somewhere one day and somebody might ask you something. Say, well, there's my business card. Give me a call if you need to. Or if you know of anybody who might benefit from our services or having a discussion with us to improve their lives, just ask them to give us a call or visit the website bodyfusion.com.au. Okay?
Yeah, so I think that's really important to wrap up so that they've got a point of contact with you leaving. So they've been inspired and motivated with you, they've got the hook, but if you just leave, then how are they going to contact you? And it might be a missed opportunity. So really important. So that was a very basic example we just took you through. We would now invite you to go through a bit of an activity, and after this video is finished, I'd like you to give it a go. So the first thing is to actually write out your 30-second spiel. Have it written down on paper, all succinct, maybe, underline some of your power words that are important there to be using, and then practice it. So practice it on your partner or a relative and see how they take it and how compelling you can be. And don't practice it once, practice it a couple of times. Maybe watch yourself in front of the mirror or whatever you need for a bit of feedback, and be open to feedback.
And just so you know, it'll take 3 or 4 or half a dozen rewrites. It's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And in fact, I would suggest you'll probably write about 3 pages to start with. Then you'll go down to 2 pages, down to 1, and then you go down to 3/4 of a page, which will be about a minute that you can speak for.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. That's okay. Practice makes perfect. Just remember, not too clinical. Keep it conversational, nice and easy. Try to be natural about it.
Yeah, and I think as well some things you're trying to achieve in it so it does come across naturally is that flow and fluency. Trying not to have too many ums or ahs where you're just filling the space in between. I've just said an ah myself, but try and keep it really good like that. And then, as Wolfgang also mentioned earlier, light conversation, not big words. And then when you've completed that, we'd really love for you to actually record yourself and upload it to the Facebook Power Team group. Don't be shy. We're all there to learn. I will even do my one and post it as well. And we can give some comments or feedback, or maybe you would like to add this or minus that, or sounds great. And I think that's a really safe space for our team to develop our 30-second spiel to communicate or sell. The next thing, I guess, bridging on for that, once you've done that activity, it would also be good for you to look at maybe how you could do a bit of a longer spiel. So we have the fishing where we've got the 30 seconds going on, but then sometimes people want to know more, and that's a good thing.
And most likely it'll be more clinical type people, maybe a doctor, it might be a healthcare professional, allied health, etc., physio. Those sorts of people will want to know more.
They will. So there are a couple of ways sometimes that you might pick up on cues of people wanting to know more. And I know that's sometimes the question, Wolfgang or Ash, when do I go in and do a 30-second spiel versus a 60? Like, how do I kind of judge that? So we came up with a couple of ideas of how you could identify that. The first one was a couple of green lights would be them asking more questions about you. So stopping you, showing genuine interest, inquiring a bit further. The other thing too could be, I find quite often that people want to talk to you about their nutrition journey or their close friend's nutrition journey. So a relative. So they say, oh, look, my dad, he's got high cholesterol. And that's actually an opportunity for you.
Absolutely.
And you can position your skills and knowledge and work off building a story around that based on what you've done in the past to, I guess, communicate how you work as a dietitian, which is fantastic because it's something that's really close to heart for them, which is important.
So just understand there's a 30-second spiel. Mm-hmm. You will always start with that, and then it's up to you whether you build the next 30 seconds to make it a 60-second spiel.
Yes.
Okay? And it might be 75 seconds or 90, depending upon how many questions they may ask. And the green light, as Ashley said, is if they're asking questions, that means they're engaged, that means they're interested, and that means you know how far you can take them before you either try to wrap it up and get them into a consult or leave them to where they want to be. Because what you don't want to do is spend an hour giving somebody a consult at a dinner party or somewhere, right? That's not where you want to be, right?
Remember as dietitians that our knowledge is our IP. So we need to be careful of how much we provide just for free. And we want to encourage people to come and see us for our service because that's our knowledge and you totally deserve to be valued and actually paid for that.
So when you talk to people in allied health or GPs or health professionals, this is the area that you also sell Body Fusion or communicate what Body Fusion does, how many clinics we have, how many dietitians we have, how we work so well together that we've got a broad reach into the nutrition community, etc. Talk about our streams of clients, the different streams that we have,
so
the chronic disease, general weight loss, sports, etc. And that we also do skills and knowledge-based transfers, education to companies, footy teams, soccer teams,
The presentation
companies.
space
Yeah.
and the workshops as well.
Absolutely.
I think it's really important to look at.
And we can customise projects for them as well. So we're not just in these little streams and we can't do anything. We can actually open up and say, actually, what is it that you're looking for to see whether it fits into our mould? But that's more about business development. That's part of another session that we'll have sometime in the future about how to run a business meeting to get the right outcomes for everybody.
Yeah, we'll be doing that one soon. So in summary, for your 60-second spiel versus your 30-second spiel, you want to make sure you sell the Body Fusion team, sell the services, and if appropriate, you can be more clinical then and go into a bit more detail. Lastly, I just wanted to maybe just give you a couple of red flags that I guess you wouldn't go ahead and do the 60-second spiel. If you have someone who's not engaged, so you can see their eyes are wandering, their body language isn't very, I guess,
they're turning away from you.
Or they're trying to talk or cut the conversation off to other things. I find sometimes even people just want to talk about life things. Oh, my son does soccer. They're clearly not interested. Not actively listening fits under that. Not asking more questions. And also sometimes I have really had people who are quite outright and rude, but they will just say, to be honest, I'm really busy, or that sounds great. Can you just send me an email? And that is just a shutdown. And that's okay. If people don't want to listen to, your pitch, and they've got other alternative motives, so being at the dinner party, or they just are switched off about work, you can let that go. It's okay.
That's okay.
And it's better for you to spend your time with someone else.
Don't take personal offence, because sometimes people go to dinner parties.
It's
not what they want to talk about.
Yes.
You'll probably know that a lot of doctors go to dinner parties and never tell anybody that they're a doctor.
Yeah.
They will actually say they're a traffic sign person or something like that, because all night they will be inundated with doctor questions. That's just how some people are.
Absolutely. That's all from us today. We would really appreciate if you have any feedback or questions from the video, that once we've posted this to YouTube, you put some comments underneath. We also encourage that you go and do the little activity that we talked about. Yeah. We will be reviewing that. We will also put up, I guess, a bit of the written content with some steps that we talked about in this video for future reference, if you just want to refer back to what we've been talking about, but in a written form. Sometimes people learn in different ways. But coming up next, we will talk you definitely through the best business meetings, and we hope that you have an amazing week. Signing off,
Wolfgang and
Ashley.
Have a great day. Have a good week. See ya.
Bye.